There are a few general lessons we can draw from this case study. Previously, we interpreted one variable at a time. But when we have interactions or squared effects, then it is better to interpret all variables involved simultaneously, right? Because if you change one variable, not just the squared effect is going to change, the underlying main effect is also going to change. When you have interactions, you want to make sure that you also have the corresponding main effects in the model. So if I have an interaction between x1 and x2, then I want x1 and x2 separately also in the model. Even if x1 were not significant, I would still keep x1 in the model. And the reason is that interactions are interpreted as a departure from a main effect. So when you remove the main effect, if you remove x1, then the meaning of what the interaction is changes. When we construct a model, and we haven't really talked about model selection, we are aiming for a simple model because it's easier to interpret, and we're trying to understand what's going on. And in model selection, this is always called parsimony. So the more interactions you add, the more complicated the model becomes. So because we aim for simplicity, we only use the interactions we feel we need to include because they're significant. Adding interaction has also another effect. Each interaction means we have to estimate another parameter. To estimate sort of sigma squared, our degrees of freedom are n minus p plus 1. So as we add additional variables or parameters, the degrees of freedoms are getting smaller and smaller. If your data set is not huge and you add a lot of interactions, you may have not all that many degrees of freedom left to estimate sigma, and the estimates might not be as stable as you want them to be. The number of interactions can build up fast because 10 choose 2 for two-way interactions. With 10 variables, you have already 45 two-way interactions, and you don't want that many because you can't interpret the model anymore. Okay, and let's see. That was the end of this slide set. So, yes, end of recording.